So there used to be a kitchen here before we had to rip it out because it was gross, dirty, disgusting, and honestly it just needed a good updating. Now if your house is in perfect condition, it needs no repairs whatsoever, you can skip or scroll past this video because it won't be applicable. But on the other hand, if you have a house that needs a little bit of TLC, maybe a kitchen update, maybe a bathroom update, possibly even a foundation repair, then you'll want to pay attention to the next little bit of this video. The truth is, when it comes time to sell a property and there's updates to be made, you might not want to be the one to make them. Whether it's because of the cost, not being able to possibly afford it, or just the hassle of doing it on your own, I wouldn't blame you whatsoever. Because according to the research that I've done, Home Advisor said a kitchen remodel like this, on average, costs between $12,500 to just under $35,000 to complete, which is not affordable whatsoever, and that's what this owner was facing. They didn't want to update it, they didn't want to remodel it, they just wanted to sell it. So what that owner did, after watching an advertisement similar to the one that you're watching right now, they went to flipfoxvalley.com, filled out the form there, and then I personally reached out to him and had a conversation about this particular house. But I also realized that some owners are hesitant about doing this, whether they've lived in the house for 10 years, 15, 20 years, maybe they've never sold a house before, or they just haven't done it recently. They're unsure on the entire process, and I don't blame you. Most of the time, if you don't do it regularly, selling a house can be very confusing and cumbersome. And they don't want to take the first step because then it leads them to believe that they need to take the second step, and then they need to commit to a third step. But where our process differs is I want to see if we would even be a fit. My goal is not to convince you to sell your house to us, because realistically, I can't do that. And in most circumstances, I have the bad habit of telling owners that this is a better option for them than selling to us directly. And now why I do this? I want to be in the business for the long term. I don't want to take advantage of anyone. I don't want to have someone do something that they truthfully don't want to do. And I ultimately want a good review from you after we purchase your property. But I know there's some homeowners out there, maybe even yourself, that don't want to go through the traditional listing process with a realtor. They don't want to repair or remodel their house because of the cost or the inconvenience factor. And maybe, just maybe, they don't want people walking through their house, imposing on their life, and just being inconvenienced by that fact. And that is where we would come in. So if selling your property without having to deal with the real estate agents, without having to list it, without having to do any repairs or remodeling sounds like something of interest, then what I want you to do is go to flipfoxvalley.com, fill out the form there on the main page, and then I will personally reach out to you, or Joe from our team will reach out. Now this conversation, obviously there's no obligation. We can't convince you to sell your house to us over the phone, but what we're going to be doing is see if it would qualify for what we're looking for, or see if we would qualify for what you are looking for. It's completely free. There's no hassles or obligations. So again, just go to flipfoxvalley.com. I appreciate you watching this video, and I look forward to having a conversation in the near future.